Well, welcome back, folks, to the house that never sleeps, or the guitar garage, or whatever you want to call it. Haven't done anything to this thing. I've been working on honing this out. I don't know how well you can see that. If I come up here, I'm going to get behind the light there again. See it get dark and get light. So anyway, I made a bone nut for it. I've got a bone blank. I'm going to make a bone saddle out of that. I may have to compensate it, may not have to. We'll find out when we put it, get it cut down to size. Anyways, I've had this nut out of here and made this one a little bigger than the one that's in there. Because that one in there, like some of y'all said, it's not the right size. It's not wide enough for this guitar. So I made this one a little bit wider. Hopefully it'll fit better. And I made it higher, so we give us some room to lower the nut action if we need to. So I want to say thanks to all of your recommendations and comments on the last video. That's very much appreciated and interesting to see so many different ideas that everyone had. Unfortunately, I can only do what the customer tells me to do, and the customer tells me put in a bone nut, bone saddle, and just do a general setup on it. So that's what we're going to do. So as you all know, it's got a whole lot of forward bow in it, too much relief. So the first thing we got to check is the truss rod. If that truss rod doesn't work, we're done. Pretty much finished right now. So I'm going to loosen the strings, tighten the truss rod, tune it back up, and then start loosening the truss rod to get the proper neck relief. That's what we're going to do first. So let's do it. That truss should be a 5mm, and let's see how much relief we have now. Not nearly as much, but there's still too much in there. So the truss works. I'm going to give it a quarter of a turn. There, she broke loose. It's tight. Hadn't been turned for a while, it would seem. That's about 1/8 of a turn. And I see no difference. And she's straight. Perfectly straight. Check the plane of the bridge with the plane of the fretboard. And it is perfect, man. That is as perfect as I have ever seen the plane of a bridge match the plane of the fretboard. Excellent. That's what we like to see on every guitar. Okay, I went about a quarter of a turn. I'm going to go about 1/8 more, if that. Yeah, we got to go more than that. That's an awful lot of adjustment on that truss. I mean, I'm really having to turn it a lot. And it's getting tight, so you want to stop right there. Well, I don't know, man. It's still just showing a straight neck. I hate to go that far at one time with these, but we got to get some back bow in it. And there is very, very little bit of back bow. Possibly when I put string tension back on it, though, it's not going to bow forward very much. I'm not going any more than that. At least not until we check it under string tension. So I'm just going to tune it back up now, and I won't bore you to death with that. I'll bring you back when I get it, when I get backward bow in it, or straightness, or if I happen to hit the proper relief. See you in a few. Well, wouldn't you know, they glued the nut in they glued both ends of the nut. Instead of the center, they glued both ends of it. It's plastic, and you can see there where it chipped away. Well, you can see down in here too. Plastic stuck down in there. So there's several ways I can go about getting that out. I can use a Dremel tool, take it out the way you have to remove those Corian nuts that Gibson used in some of their guitars that was not serviceable, that was made on the Plek machine. I think I talked about it in another video. Instead of replacing the nut, they just cut the top of it off, glued another piece of Corian material onto it, put it back in the Plek machine, let the Plek machine do its thing, and you got a new nut. But if you don't do that, take it to Gibson, then the only other alternative is grind it out in pieces with a Dremel or whatever. You can't just take a hammer and knock it out. That's what I'm saying, the Corian nut. Anyways, I don't know how I got into that. Probably going to take a small wood chisel, or maybe an X-Acto knife would be better. And just get in there and see if I can dig some of that stuff out. Get it out of the way. And room for the new, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Room for I got a little bit of it out. Just show you what we're doing here. I'm just taking a, I don't know if you'll be able to see this very well. Taking a micro chisel and just kind of pecking away at it from different angles. It's coming out in pieces. See what I mean? Just little pieces at a time. But I'll keep hacking away at it. And we will have success eventually. There's another piece. There's another. Now the rest of it I can get out with the tiny, you never find your shit when you need it, can you? I want that new bone nut to fit, and fit properly. Unlike the plastic one that was in here. Well, I got all the plastic goo out of it. That Dremel tool was just melting that stuff down. I got it all out though. I had to finally ended up chiseling it out and all kind of crap. But I got it where this bone nut fits in there. Check it out, man. That's the way a nut should fit. Got it down to the perfect width now. But I don't want to glue that in there yet. I'm just going to lay it in there and tighten the strings back up on it. In fact, we'll do that right now. And get an idea of where the nut action is going to be on this thing. So hold on. I'll string it back up. I broke a string, broke a third, but I'm going to put new ones on it anyway. I just want to show you this real quick. I got the nut in it, but it's way over 18 thousandths. See that? That's why I didn't glue it in. We want that down to at least 16 to 18 thousandths. That's a little much. But hold on, let me get the camera in hand. I want to show you how a nut should fit. Like I say, it's not glued in there, and when I tightened the strings, they pulled it that way toward the strings. You see, it pulled it away from the fretboard a tiny bit. Glue will solve that, but look how well that nut fits. You can't feel any transition on either side. that damage was already there from the nut before. Let's see. So just show you how to do this. I have a 15 and a 12 and a 10 thousandths here. Okay, 15, 25, 27, 37 thousandths is what I have right here in my hands, and that's what the nut action is. 37 thousandths. We want that at 18 thousandths. That's a difference of 19 thousandths. We want to take 19 thousandths off the nut to bring it down to 18. That's how you do that. I just wanted to show you that. So hold on, I'm going to do it now and I'll bring you back. So I have measured and marked the nut and sanded it down. You can't see this. Got a piece of sandpaper here. Maybe you can see it. I don't know. Anyways, laid a piece of sandpaper on the table, sanded the bottom of the nut down, and I have 18 thousandths here right now, an 8 and a 10. And you can see that is perfectly 18 thousandths. Now we got a broke string. Of course, with the third string on there, it's going to be a little bit more tension on it from the third string. So that might change a tiny bit. I don't think it'll be enough to. But if it does, it's okay. That's a little bit tight there, but it goes in there. There you can see. It's very close. It's between 16 and 18, so that's okay. That's what we want. And capo. Check the neck relief one more time. Like I say, with that third string on there, we'll make a little bit more tension on the neck. Alright, now I need 12 thou. And here's a 12. I don't like to see any more than 12 thousandths neck relief on this. And that's what we have. I tightened that truss rod up a lot, man. Probably 3/4 of a turn or so, and we are exactly on 12 thousandths. 7, 8, and 9. Yes, sir. So we're ready to start on the saddle now. So neck relief was 22 thousandths. We got it down to 12. Nut action was 12 thousandths. We brought it up to 18. 16 to 18. High and low E action is 12th fret. We'll do that when we do the saddle. I've decided to split this into a couple of videos rather than drag it all out in one. A couple of shorter ones. The bridge, where that bridge was pulled up, I showed it to you in the last video. That's not a concern. I wanted to see what you guys' comments was while I was making that nut, cutting that nut out. And like I say, you had some good comments. We were all on the same page, which is cool. But that's nothing to worry about. I would make note of it. I'll tell the owner, and keep an eye on it. Check it every now and then. And if it starts to get worse, then yeah, take the bridge off and redo all that and put it back on, get rid of that, tighten that crack up. But it's nothing to worry about now. Not a problem. The nut looks yeah, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but it turned out pretty nice. It's a way better fitting nut than the other nut was. There's a little bit of funkiness going on there, but you can't feel that. That was like that though. Whoever put the other nut or took the other nut out and put that plastic one in it. But you can see how much better the strings are. A little bit farther apart. The whole nut's wider. That other nut didn't even fit. So anyways, yeah, man, thanks for all your ideas in the last video and the comments and suggestions and everything. I appreciate every single one. And like I say, I can only do what the owner tells me to do, and that was, I already told you, that was just make a new bone nut and saddle for it. And don't touch anything else. Don't tighten or loosen anything. You old guys will catch that when you'll know what I'm talking about, the ones that's been here a while. Anyways, cheers to you. Thanks. And, oh yeah, comments. Man, I appreciate the comments, you guys. I've been getting buried in comments, and I love that. But, man, there's just no way I can keep up with it, with all of them. So if I don't reply to your comment, believe me, it's read. I read them all. I don't miss any. I read every single one, and I've always tried to reply to everyone, but it's just literally impossible to do. So, keep the comments coming. I dig that. That's why I make these videos. I mean, you know, if you want to see more videos, just comment. That's and click a few ads, of course. But yeah, I read everyone, and I'll reply to a few here and there as I go, as I can. But there's no way I can keep up with all that, man. I just I appreciate it so much. I wish I could answer every single one every time, but can't do it. But thanks, guys, man, y'all rock, and I appreciate the new subscribers and the old ones, and all the suggestions. That was just incredible. Next video, like I say, we'll cut the new saddle out for it. All I'm going to do to the frets is just polish them with this stuff. Showed it to you before. It's just a lightly abrasive rubbing compounds, all it is. Does an excellent job. Mirror-like finish on those frets. I'd like to crown those frets. They're not really wore very much, but I'd like to crown them, you know, and then polish some stuff. But I got to do what I'm told to do, you know. Thanks, guys. I'll see you real soon. We're going to make a new saddle. Cheers.